Today we're taking a look at these NHL matches, which are happening on January 14, 2023, and giving you our team picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Dallas Stars vs Calgary Flames. We start a loaded NHL slate today with a matinee matchup between the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. The Stars have had a great season so far and lead the Central Division, and the Flames have been playing well lately, setting up a fun game for a rematch of the first-round playoff series between these teams a season ago that needed overtime in Game 7 to determine a winner. These teams face off as the puck drops at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Both of these teams have trended under this season and recently, and I expect that trend to continue this afternoon between these teams. On the season, the under in Flames games has gone 23-19-1, and that trend is even more significant recently, hitting in 7 of their last 10 games. The under in Stars games has gone 24-17-2 this year, and it has gone 7-1 in their last 10 games. Our total pick under 5.5 goals. These teams have given up just the 7th, Calgary, and 8th, Dallas, expected goals in the league, so I expect the pace of play in this game to stay more of a slow, defensive battle. Carolina Hurricanes vs Pittsburgh Penguins. Coming off a disappointing loss at home last night, the Penguins traveled to Carolina on the second half of a back-to-back, looking to bounce back against the Canes, who have struggled lately. The puck drops on this fourth and final matchup between these Metro Division teams at PNC Arena. 2 of the 3 previous games between these teams stayed under, with them both being defensive battles. I expect that trend to continue tonight. Both of these teams have trended under this season, with it going 23-18-1 in Hurricanes games this year and 21-19 in Penguins games. Both of these teams have done a good job of limiting expected goals and have allowed the 2 fewest high-danger shots in the league. The Hurricanes have struggled offensively this season, so I don't expect many goals for them against Desmond. Our total pick is under 6 goals. Especially with the Penguins in the second half of a back-to-back, I don't expect a whole lot of scoring from them either, who will likely be a bit sluggish. Philadelphia Flyers vs Washington Capitals. Tonight we have a rematch for the second half of a home-and-home after the Flyers and Capitals faced off in Philly on Wednesday night. The Flyers dominated that game with a 5-3 victory, outshooting the Caps 36-29 and outplaying them significantly by an expected goal rate of 4.7 to 2.27. This will be the final matchup between these 2 Metro Division teams, having already played 3 times this season. The first 2 games between these teams this season went under, and I expect that trend to continue in this 4th game tonight after the overhit in the last game on Wednesday. Both of these teams have trended under this season, with the under going 23-19-2 in Capitals games and 20-22 in Flyers games this season. Both of these teams have played well defensively, and with 2 solid goalies in Kuemper and Hart, I expect this to be a goaltending battle. Our team pick is under 6 goals. The Flyers' offense has struggled this season, and I think tonight's game has the potential for that to come back closer to their season average as the Caps' good defense shuts them down. Boston Bruins vs Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 26-10-7, have been consistently one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference all season long, with a career year for William Nylander having them looking like a favorite out east, but on Saturday, they'll take on the East's best team in the Boston Bruins, 32-5-4, in what could be a massive playoff preview. Both teams are stacked from top to bottom, with scoring, defense and goaltending all playing at an elite level. And with teams number 1 and number 2 in the Eastern Conference colliding in this one, we should see some major fireworks on a Saturday night. While the earlier season matchup resulted in a close, low-scoring battle, both of these teams have improved at an immense rate offensively, and with an over of 6-1 in their past 9 overall, there's bound to be some offense in this one. Our total pick is over 6 goals. For the Bruins, the over is 3-1-1 in their past 5 games following a loss of 3 goals or more, and for the Maple Leafs, the over is 37-16-3 in their past 56 games away from Toronto, and while few teams have managed to consistently get past Ullmark and Murray in 2022-23, this one should see plenty of goals. Take the over in this one. Florida Panthers vs Vancouver Canucks. In 2022-23, it's hard to name 2 more disappointing teams than these, as Saturday night will see the Vancouver Canucks, 17-21-3, look to rebound as they head to Florida to take on the Florida Panthers, 19-24, who themselves haven't played to the level many expected them, as they were seen as a playoff threat in this division. The playoffs right now seem like a long shot for both, but with so much talent, there's a good chance that a big run could get them back there, but it has to start now, so while a Saturday night in January shouldn't be a make or break for either team, it certainly is right now, so this should be a fun one to watch. Given that neither of these teams have elite goaltending and have stacked their forward groups, this game is one that's expected to see plenty of goals, and even with the total line at 6.5, they should be able to clear that in a big way. Our total pick is over 6.5 goals. For the Panthers, the over is 9-3-1 in their past 13 home games, and for Vancouver, the over is 4-0-1 in their past 5 games overall, and with 2 teams looking to win games by simply scoring as much as possible, don't overthink it, take the over. Colorado Avalanche vs Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators, 19-19-3, had a massive off-season and were expected to be in a place to push for the playoffs this season, but it hasn't panned out that way, and if they do want to turn it around, they'll need a big win on the road against the Colorado Avalanche, 2017-3, who themselves are in desperate need of a win, as they find themselves sitting at 6th place in the Central Division. Both teams have all the talent needed for a postseason push, but the turnaround needs to happen here, as parity in the NHL is fantastic for all in 2022-23, so while either could come away with a win here, it should be seen as must-win for both teams. While the highlight of both of these teams seem to be their deep offensive units, the under appears to be the easiest bet for both in recent times, and while the game should be a fairly competitive matchup, there shouldn't be too many goals to speak of. Our total pick is under 6.5 goals. For the Avalanche, the under is 9-3 in their past 12 games at home, and for the Senators, the under is 21-7 in their past 28 games overall, so in this one, make the easy bet and take the under. Detroit Red Wings vs Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets will be on the road and take on the Detroit Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. Columbus has a record of 12-27-2. Detroit has a record of 18-15-7. Both these 2 teams faced each other twice this season, with Detroit winning both matchups. Defense and goaltending have been horrible for the Blue Jackets this season. They rank 31st in goals against per game and 31st in shots against per game. The Red Wings have been playing well on offense recently. Detroit scored 3 or more goals in 7 of their last 10 games. In 2 games this season versus Columbus, Detroit scored 6 goals in the first meeting and 4 goals in the second meeting. Our total pick is 6.5 goals. Detroit scored 4 or more goals in 7 of the last 10 games against the Blue Jackets. Columbus's defense and goaltending are awful, and the Red Wings will score on them. This will be a higher scoring game and the over will hit. New York Islanders vs Montreal Canadiens. The Montreal Canadiens will go on the road and take on the New York Islanders at UBS Arena. Montreal has a record of 17-22-3. New York has a record of 22-18-3. Both of these teams faced each other 3 times last season, with New York winning 2 of the 3 matchups. Both teams have been struggling on offense lately. The Habs scored 2 or fewer goals in 7 of their last 10 games. Montreal ranks 29th in goals per game and 30th in shots per game. The Islanders scored 2 or fewer goals in 6 of the last 7 games. New York ranks 23rd in goals per game and 20th in shots per game. However, the Isles have received very good goaltending. New York ranks 7th in goals against per game. Ilya Sorokin has a record of 14-14-2 with a 2.29 goals against average and .926 SV%. The under has hit in 14 out of Montreal's 22 road games this season. Our total pick is under 6 goals. This will be a lower scoring game, and the under will hit. Chicago Blackhawks vs Seattle Kraken. Two straight best bet wins in the NBA as the 76ers and Thunder combined to score 247 points and finish over the closing line of 232.5 points. Friday's NBA best bet will be a winner and extend our winning run to 3 straight, so hop aboard this winning train and prepare to win regularly. Neither team has been doing too well in terms of power play percentage this season, as Seattle is 18th in the sport with a 21.5 power play percentage, while Chicago is 25th in hockey with a 19.2 power play percentage thus far. Martin Jones and Alex Stalock have been doing very well between the pipes, as they are solid goaltenders statistically and should limit the amount of good looks against them. Our total pick is under 6 goals. The under has hit in 5 of the previous 6 Kraken games against Central Division opponents, as well as in 6 of the last 8 Blackhawks games, so go with the under in this game. St. Louis Blues vs Tampa Bay Lightning. These defenses as of late have been struggling throughout the previous few games, as Tampa Bay is allowing 3.4 goals in their last 5 games, while St. Louis is giving up 3 goals in their previous 4 games. Both teams have also been able to score on the power play percentage, as the Lightning are second in the sport with a 28.9 power play percentage, while the Blues are 11th in the league with a 24 power play percentage. Our total over 6.5 goals. The over has hit in each of the previous 4 games against one another, so go with over 6.5 goals in this game. Minnesota Wild vs Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes will go on the road on Saturday night to the Xcel Energy Center to clash with the Minnesota Wild in a Central Division game. The Coyotes are 7th in the division, 13-23-5, 31 points, and are on a 7-game losing streak after a 5-3 home loss on Thursday to the Ottawa Senators. The Wild have been doing well as they are 3rd in the division, 23-14-4, 50 points, and are coming off a 3-1 road win on Thursday against the New York Islanders. This will be the second of 4 games against one another as they played back on November 26 with a 4-3 home win for Minnesota. Both defenses as of late are struggling to get stops, as the Coyotes are allowing 4.3 goals in their last 3 games, while the Wild are giving up 3.5 goals in their previous 4 games. Neither team has been doing too well in terms of killing penalties, as Arizona is 24th in the sport with a 73.9 kill percentage thus far, while Minnesota is 14th in hockey with a 79.3 kill percentage thus far. Our total pick is over 6.5 goals. The over has hit in each of the previous 4 games against one another. Nashville Predators vs Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres will go on the road on Saturday night to the Bridgestone Arena to clash with the Nashville Predators in a non-conference game. The Sabres are 5th in the Atlantic Division, 2018-2, 42 points, and are on a 3-game losing streak after a 4-2 home loss on Thursday night against the Winnipeg Jets. The Predators have been struggling a little bit as they are 5th in the Central Division, 19-16-6, 44 points, and are on a 2-game losing streak and are coming off of a 4-3 road loss against the Montreal Canadiens on Thursday. This will be the first of 2 games against one another as they also will play on March 21st.